This was an initial thing that we just said, today we're going to open up our home and help people. How God did it was, it started with one person where we felt compassion for him. He needed a place to stay. And I first ran it through my wife. I said, what do you think? Because I didn't want to be in trouble. And then especially I have children. So she was a little hesitant, and she did give me like scenarios like this can happen, this can happen. Can we live through those things? I said, well, it's whatever you say. And she said, well, if you feel that it's God, then by all means, let's see how it works out. And so we brought our first person in, and his name is Louis Leja. He's a professional boxer here.
How long ago was this when you started doing this?
This is 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
6 weeks ago.
And how has that decision changed your life? Changed it in a way that is good, bad?
Honestly, I can say that it has changed me in many ways. It's made me realize that this could be one day me or any of our loved ones where we find ourselves, needing help. It has changed me in many ways, as well as the aspect of being a father and my wife and my relationship with her, where it's a little bit more, we have come to understand that that there's much need out here, but we also have to be aware that we're husband and wife and parents before anything else.
And every day they're in your home, how do you make sure that they're kept busy, that some like you said, they're recovering? Mm-hmm. How do you make sure that they're getting the care that they need in your home and your limited resources? I have a structure, and that structure that I do have, I implement it every day. I make sure they wake up at a certain time. I do Bible studies. I try to arrange other church members to come here and help me by giving a word to them. And my wife and I cook here for them. We serve them. I love cooking, so I don't mind doing that. And at the same time, we have to make sure that our time is not being taken away from our children and me and my wife. So I have a balance. I just clock out at a certain time, say this is my time with my family, and I take off and I do what I got to do, and then I come back and continue the day, and then end the day at night with prayer and the things that we normally do in our faith. Do you ever get worried that these are tough times for many families economically? Just how are you able to take care of your 3 kids, your wife, and then you've added other members to your home, eating, utility bills, all of that?
I have them there, by the way. I try to look for opportunities like work. People, sometimes they know me and they call me and they say, hey, I have a job for you. And I say, well, thank you, because I really need it, because I've did something that I never thought I would do. I said, I've opened up my house to help other men and people who are in need and that are actually wanting a new life, so I want to help them in their journey as much as I can. I could only help someone that really desires to be helped,
And your wife, she works, and so she takes, you know what I'm saying?
My wife doesn't work. I've been the provider for the past 6 years. Okay. of our family. So
you work as a pastor, and then you do some plumbing work on the side.
Yes, and by the I don't get a salary being a pastor because our congregation is barely growing. And second of all, I've told them that I'm here to do the work because I love God. I'm not here to get paid for what I do.
What would you want viewers to know? How can they help you, and how can they help your mission of what you're doing to try and get these men up on their feet again?
I believe that the greatest need that any ministry has is prayer. Honestly, just to continue to pray for us. And I do pray that God opens the door for us to help these men transition from this to something better and greater, where they can actually have a job and they can learn how to depend on God and themselves to go to work. And one day, do what I've done, to be a family man and a provider for the family, and also a godly man.
Some people will watch this story and they'll say, there are places, right? There's Haven for Hope. There are facilities that Sam Ministries has set up. There are places that Salvation Army has. There are various. Why is that not your first option? You decide to open up your home to them.
One of the reasons why I feel that those are great places. They have been helping our community for many years before I ever have come to this picture. The only thing that I've heard from people that I go pick up at Sam's Ministry, as well as Haven for Hope, is that it's a very drug-infested environment there, and they want to get out of that drug life. And when they're trying to be one day sober, somebody comes and says, "Hey man, do you want some drugs?" Hey, and so it's been hard for them. I've had numerous. I've worked with over 1,000 people from there, because we pick people up from over there and bring them to our church. And I have helped several people right now have their own apartments. They have their own jobs, and they're still at our church serving God there with us. So I've contributed, for the most part, just something that was positive in their lives, in how I actually have reached them through the message of the Bible and how they could be better. And some stayed there, some couldn't stay there, and some had to leave from there. Amen. In order for them to get away from that environment. But I believe it's you make the best of yourself, in whatever environment you're in. And I believe it's a matter of you making the right choice and decision in your life. Amen. So it's for those people who want that. It doesn't matter what environment they could be in. When you say I'm done, I'm done. So it's a matter of choice.
And you seem to believe that you have a very good judgment of character, right? You seem to, because you literally opened up your home.
Yes.
Your family, your 3 little girls, right? Your wife.
Definitely. I have a past myself that God has turned my life around. And not only do I have I read people, but I still have to be on top of things no matter what. It's something that I have to do all the time, and I just it's just trusting God, and at the same time I listen to my wife, and there's some things she tells me and that I can't see with my other eye, and she's like, "Hey, look, this," and it helps me out a lot. It really does. So I thank God for our wives.